안녕하십니까. 미주중앙일보 최인성입니다. 룩킹포맘은 70년대부터 90년대까지 미국으로 입양 온 한인 입양아들을 소개하고 한국의 친부모를 찾도록 돕는 그런 프로젝트입니다. 한국전쟁 이후에 무려 20만 명의 한인 입양인이 미국에 왔다고 하는데요. 룩킹포맘은 한인 입양인들의 엄마 찾기는 보호받아야 할 권리라고 믿고 카메라와 조명, 마이크를 모두 오늘도 켰습니다. 이 프로젝트는 나비앤 미국 법인이 후원해 주셨습니다. 여러분, 1971년 겨울 전주의 전동성당 앞에서 태어난 지 일주일 만에 발견된 아이가 있었습니다. 추운 겨울날이었는데요. 독특한 외모로 어린 나이에 배우가 된 소녀는 자신의 한국 이름을 50년 동안 버리지 않고 살았습니다. 방미자 씨는 5살이 되던 해 미국으로 입양됐는데요. 대부분의 입양아들이 행복한 삶을 누렸지만 그녀는 자신의 삶이 그렇게 녹록하지는 않았다고 고백합니다. LA에 거주하고 있는 방미자 씨를 오늘은 스튜디오로 초대했습니다. 방미자 씨의 이야기를 들어봅니다.
My name is Mija. I live in Los Angeles. I was raised in Michigan, and then my family moved down to Georgia, and I actually left my family and moved to New York City to support myself 16 years, and then I moved to Los Angeles.
I see.
So I've covered the north, south, east, and now I'm on the west coast.
Wow.
Yes, for work. Basically, it was primarily for work. I was told that a 11-year-old girl and her sister were on their way to school, and it was January 10th of 1972. Pang Yumi, the 11-year-old girl, had found me, and I was in a basket wrapped in a blanket with a note that said, "Take care of her. I have a difficult life." The Pang family were actually living next door to Chundong Cathedral.
I see.
Their father was a church administrator, and they already had 7 children, so they were unable to take me in and adopt me. But that's fine. But they did take me to, the next day, they took me to the Chungbuk Reception Center.
I see.
And then from there, I think 2 weeks later, I was placed at Edi City Christian Baby Home, which was maybe, 20 minutes away from Cheonju City?
I see.
So Edi City is now today called Iksan. And that orphanage actually changed its name from Edi City to now Sammaewan.
I see.
Good question. I don't know. I'm going to say, the papers say January 11th, but Pang Yumi, whom I met in Korea in 2018, I went back to Korea after 42 years, and I had a friend slash fellow that remembered me at the orphanage. He served as my translator, so he took me down to Cheonju City to meet Pang Yumi, and we had bibimbap, and she told me that her parents kept me for 2 days before they placed me, took me to the police station. But the paperwork is different. I'm going to say that I have to go by the date that's on this from Holt, Korea, which states January 11th. But I was found, I'm going to say I was found, let's say the 10th or 11th on January.
I see.
I am very lucky and grateful that the Pang family had given me my name. The doctors gave me my birth date, the DOB. My birth date is 12/28/71, but that's because they just speculated that this baby was 2 weeks old
I see.
when they found me. So I have no choice but to believe that that is my given birth date, and my given name was from Mr. and Mrs. Pang.
I see.
They said, we need to give her a name, which is why the director of the orphanage, when I made an international phone call, actually remembered me by that name.
I see.
And he hung up on me and called my friend who served as a translator for me, called him up. He called me and said, "Hi, Mija, how can we help you?" And I said, "Who's this director of the orphanage I'm from?" He's like, "That was my best friend. We remembered you at the orphanage. And he remembered you because your name is quite unique. And you were the only baby that showed up with a name.
I see.
All the babies showed up. Sadly, I feel my heart goes out to the babies at the time who had no name. So that's why he remembered 방미자. And I have to believe that the name served me well, because when they looked at me, they probably thought, oh, this beautiful little girl has been abandoned and we'll just give her our last name. I thought for many years that they were my relatives, but this is before DNA testing. So apparently I'm not related to the Pang family, but I have photographs of the entire extended family, and it's beautiful to see. And I'd love to see them and say thank you very much for taking care of me and making sure I was placed in the right hands. Yeah. It has history to it for me. It holds a very special place in my heart. I identify with the story behind my name. I think that's the only, I feel like I have to hold on to that, since I don't have any information at all on my birth family or birth parents. Every day when I look at myself in the mirror, or, just when someone says, oh, you look like so and so and so, I have to remind myself, this is my only evidence of my birth parents. My smile, my cheeks, my eyes, my hair, how long my arms are, like just everything about my body is the only evidence I have, and I hold on to, I cherish very much. My mom, thankfully, did not want to give me a different name. She said to my father when I arrived in 1976, she said to Jim, she said, I don't want to name her Lisa or Jennifer. Let's keep her name Mija. It means beautiful. She was told at the time in the 70s it meant beautiful little one, but I think I found out it meant beautiful girl or something.
I see.
So she kept that, and then she named me Renee for reborn.
Okay.
And so she wanted my name to have meaning in this way, yeah. Sander, my last name, I'm just kind of like, ugh. I contacted the mayor of Cheonju City on Facebook, and
You found it?
the reporter that he assigned went back to the orphanage and emailed me my baby picture.
Wow.
This reporter, Chun was his name.
Okay.
And I can't believe my parents never got to see this picture ever of me, nor have I.
These are the photos of when you were in a
An Edie
The Edie
Christian baby home.
Christian baby home.
Women hanging up, cloths like diapers, washing diapers, hanging them up on the tree line. I remember lining up my shoes. I remember seesawing and playing with the children. I remember being put down for a nap and not wanting to go to sleep.
I see.
And I also remember I had Bell's palsy. And
Really?
that was actually leading up to when I was 4 years old. I had Bell's palsy, so half my face was paralyzed.
Okay.
I had high fever, and it was bad. And then I think about a month I just broke out of that fever.
I see.
And my mom and dad just wanted me to fly over. They didn't want me to really heal in the hospital. They said, we'll give her love and just fly her over now, because she said that they waited for a long time
I see.
for me to arrive. They actually adopted me, I think, at 2,
I see.
and I didn't arrive till I was 4 years and 2 months old.
Okay.
That's me.
5, 6?
That's probably first grade.
I see.
First grade.
You met a Santa too, huh?
Yes, I did, and he scared me.
Bad breath?
Oh, he scared me, and yes, that was my first. I think I was 5 years old in that picture. That was before my parents got a divorce.
Okay.
And that I think I'm what, 10,
10,
12?
11, something.
That was at my grandparents' house in Illinois.
I see. Teenagers, I believe, right?
I was a pom-pom, varsity pom-pom cheerleader
Oh,
in high school.
okay.
That was the year I graduated from high school. Yes, I was studying criminology actually in Atlanta, Georgia,
I see.
and my waitress came up to me and asked me if I'd be interested in acting. She said, would you like to play a U.S. Army recruiter? And I said, what? No, I don't do that. I want to be a
did,
forensic psychologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's like, you don't need a picture, you don't need a resume, just show up.
Okay.
And those 3 words I never forgot, just show up.
You did?
And I did, and I booked commercials
Oh, okay.
from 1992 up until now.
That's when you kind of ditched your criminology study?
Yes, I fell in love with acting. I fell in love with performance arts, yes.
I see.
But
How
that's a
many-
very unstable, unpredictable career, and especially at the time, there was no Asian Americans on television except for Connie Chung. And I looked up to Connie Chung. I didn't have a role model growing up in Michigan. I didn't have anyone that looked like me. I experienced a lot of racism, honestly, growing up in Michigan. And I still do experience that. So I think it's important for women to have a very strong identity of who they are and have confidence and love for themselves. I picked a really, a tough path. You have to have a very thick skin to pursue the entertainment business.
I
It's
see.
lots of rejection. And my life, I feel like, has always been about rejection.
I'll get
So I
to-
guess I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can book this role. I'm gonna see if I can get this job, and I did. So I'm very, very proud of myself. What did I do? I think I would have probably studied criminology,
And became a cop or something, right?
a private investigator. But my mom, who was the first woman writer-producer for Ted Turner,
Oh, really?
1980. She said, I do not want you to be studying criminals. So now I just play roles that deal
Okay.
with criminals.
We'll get to that part a little bit later. We have a nice supporting video from a group of high school students. Now this time, this nice young lady came up with a poem. Are you ready to watch this?
Yes.
Let's watch it.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Alicia and I'm a part of the Elephant Project here at Korean Daily. I wanted to reach out and show my support after hearing your incredible story. You are so strong and resilient that you have not only inspired me, but countless others as well. We are so grateful to have such courageous role models such as yourself and hope to see you strive in success and find happiness in the future. I'm going to show my support by presenting you a poem about finding hope and enjoying the little things in life. Please enjoy. Deep down in the abyss lay his decomposing bones. Here lies the mortal who believed in love and suffered the consequences. The dust of his remains now camouflaged with powdery clouds, the heart of his corpse gone forever. The quest to find the great perhaps feels impossible. What's so great about the lies of tomorrow? Infinite souls mourn for yesterday, but the vacancy of existence is perhaps the only thing true. An eternity of stars whirl above his crown. The shrieks from angels are deafening. Heaven bears the dominion of God, its throne waiting to be sat in. How fitting for the man killed by heartache to rule over the skies, only opening its gates to those who love. There holds beauty and complexity in the idea of optimism. Sitting in sovereignty, the man watches the golden disk arrive from his grave, its strawberries rays casting away the cloak of night, the boundless reflection of gold eliminating his kingdom of false paradise. It is in witness of this sight in which the man unlocks his great perhaps. Never he discovers the lies of tomorrow, neither is found the morning of yesterday. Revealed is the birth of the sun and the benevolence of today. Thank you for listening to my poem called The Great Perhaps, but more importantly, thank you for sharing your story with us. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you and goodbye.
Oh, so sweet. Who is she?
Such a wonderful little kid.
Yes.
Her name is Alicia Kahi
Oh,
from Buena Park, California. You want to say something to her?
Alicia's her name? Hi, thank you so much for your beautiful, heartfelt poem. Really, you have so much talent. And you're such a beautiful woman, and thank you for inspiring me, as I hope I will inspire you and future generations of girls that are in our shoes, and I appreciate you. Thank you. I think when I turned 19 years old, I was actually my first year in college in Michigan, and I was failing at all my subjects except for art. And it was one winter that I stumbled across this restaurant, snowing with neon lights and Hangul. And I walked in, and there was a Korean couple there. And I thought to myself immediately, I just thought, number one, I never had Korean food, never smelled it, never tasted it. When I walked into their restaurant, it really hit me hard. I could have sworn I was back at the orphanage. And the couple sat me down and fed me. They said, don't pay for anything. You've never had kimchi. I said, no, I was adopted. And I'll never forget, I went back and gave them money, but I'll never forget how gracious and warm and loving they were. They took me in as if I was their own daughter. And that was my yearning and longing for, hey, you know what, I'm gonna start exploring and finding my mom and my father, my birth parents. I never expressed it to my adopted family because they really didn't subject me to anything about my culture. There was nothing on, like, they didn't have books for me or help me remember my language. I just lost all the vocabulary as soon as I arrived. It's kind of like sink or swim. You know, I just had to acclimate and assimilate, like the first year I arrived from Korea. So I forgot all the words, and I just became, I guess, you know, American. So I still felt in my bones and in my blood, and very proud of being Korean. I'm so proud. I think I'm more proud than other Korean. No, I'm just teasing. But I just have so much pride, and that has to come from somewhere. And I went through different phases in my 20s and 30s. I would pick it up and then put it down. I'd pick it up and put it down. And then in 2006, that was the first time we actually placed a call to Pangyumi.
Okay.
We did a conference call. And that's the first time I heard her voice and heard her version of the story. So it was 2018 when I physically met her in person. She said, Micha! Micha! You know, she's crying and I'm crying. We didn't need to know, really, we didn't need to like speak each other's language. It was such a beautiful afternoon. Well, I didn't have my 2-year-old baby picture yet. So they published, I think, my 5-year-old picture and my actress headshot. And the article wasn't run again. So that's why I'm hoping my baby picture, maybe someone will recognize me. Hopefully my birth mom. because I don't know. They say a birth mom will never forget her baby's face. And if she did keep me for 2 weeks, hence my given birth date, then during those 2 weeks, what happened? I just want to know what happened and why. I really admire her strength and courage, and that she was brave to be able to give me up under that set of circumstances with whatever she was going through, experiencing. I've had so many people, strangers, customers, family members, give me their own versions of what could possibly have happened. You can't listen to that, you have to have evidence. I can't, I would go crazy if I was believing all the stories I've heard. I just know that if she's alive and I found her, I would just hug her and say, I love you so much and thank you so much for giving me life. Thank you for giving me life. I'm going to be 100% honest here. I'm going to be very transparent, Brian. Yes, I went through phases of feeling blue. I call it blue, like those dark places where there's no answer to all the questions you have in your mind. And I think it's just a basic human need and curiosity to want to know your birthrights, where you came from, who your family is. So I wasn't angry at all at her or my birth father at all. I can't be angry because I don't know the facts. I don't know the set of circumstances. That's just wasted emotions that are unhealthy. But I'm more curious and I'm more not desperate, but I just care so much about wanting to know what happened to them. I try to put myself in their shoes, and I think it was a very, very, very difficult situation that I don't think anyone could ever understand unless they've lived through that. Like, we went to war. Like 25 years later, the economy in South Korea is still suffering. And that has a lot to say. Like, I'm not angry at the Korean people. I don't shame them. I don't think that they should feel embarrassed. Absolutely not. I feel very strong about that, because I remember reading articles at the time about like government was shaming their people because they didn't take care of their people. I'm sorry, we didn't go through war like that. Like, there was just so much to have to be. The country needed to heal itself. So I can't put a blame on anyone, Brian. And it's unfair if anyone does blame the Korean people or the whatever. I don't know if I'm making myself clear or understood.
That's clear enough.
If I met my mom, my birth mother, I would want to tell you I love you so much with all my heart and soul, and that there is no forgiving you because you didn't do anything wrong. And I admire you so much for having the courage, as I said, and the bravery and the strength to have to give me up in order for me to have a better life. I can't possibly imagine what you went through. I cannot imagine having to do what you had to do. There are no words. I would just hug you so tight and say, I love you, 사랑합니다. 어머니, 사랑합니다. And I would hope that you're proud of me, how I have always been independent and resilient and strong, helping others like you helped me. I always feel my purpose in life is to give back and help others, period. Or else what's the point of living? And I know that you wouldn't want me to waste my life away feeling sorry for myself or blaming you, or that's wrong. Just say, I would just want to say thank you so much for giving me life. And I wouldn't be here today to meet wonderful Brian and Yuna and all the people that care about Korean adoptees and want to help us. That's all we want. We just want to be heard. We want our voice to be heard. First step is I hope that this medium will just help others. That's moving forward in my mind. I cannot tell you how deeply grateful I am for this opportunity, Brian. I think every adoptee should do this process because it's really, really insightful and helpful. It's kind of like when everything's up here in your brain, you can actually talk it out and you actually can be heard. It's really, really helpful. So moving forward, if I don't have any DNA results positive, it's okay. At least I tried, because I can't live my life regretting that I hadn't tried. And I don't think that's a way to live either, having any regrets, for sure. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with me.
Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
We'll keep in touch.
Yep. Until next time.
방미자 씨의 이야기를 잘 들어주셔서 감사합니다. 이 영상을 여러분들 주변 분들에게도 좀 알려주시면 좋겠네요. 시간이 많이 지났습니다. 50년의 시간이 지났긴 하지만 방미자 씨의 부모님은 최소한 전주의 전동성당을 기억하실 것 같습니다. 71년 그 추운 날씨에 아이를 그곳에 남겨둘 수밖에 없었던 그런 아픔을 저희도 잘 이해합니다. 하지만 시간이 많이 지났으니 방미자 씨가, 우리 미자 씨가 부모님을 한 번이라도 만날 수 있도록 여러분이 도와주시면 좋겠습니다. 어머니 어디에 계십니까? 연락을 주십시오. 룩킹포맘 영상은 광고 수익을 내지 않습니다. 한인 입양인들이 한국의 친부모를 만나게 되는 것이 바로 저희들의 수익입니다. 룩킹포맘은 경동나비엔 미국 법인이 후원해 주셨습니다. 진행에는 최인성이었습니다. 여러분 다음 인터뷰에서 다시 만나겠습니다. 여러분 고맙습니다.
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Yoon Hee-mi and I am the president of National Center for the Rights of the Child, also known as the NCRC. The NCRC is the one and only government institute in Korea responsible for developing and implementing child policies and child welfare related projects. Well, every year we handle about 2,000 requests from adoptees to find their birth families and support them with our post-adoption services. Well, we are working diligently and we are here to listen to you and to help you navigate the search process in any way we can. We are working to enhance the adoption information disclosure system as well as the laws and system in Korea so that adoptees wishing to reunite with their birth families can access necessary information with ease. We will also expand the DNA test program to help more adoptees with little records about their birth parents successfully reconnect with their birth families. We are always here to help you find your family. We want your search to be successful. We are working closely with the government and the other agencies and are supporting network building for the adoptee communities. The NCRC and Korean government will continue to listen to you and aid your journey to reconnect with your birth family. Thank you. 감사합니다.